What's up, everybody? Sam Smyers here. So I was watching Chris Lake's live stream the other day, and I was in the chat, and he called me out and he said, Sam, make me a bass or send me some basses that we can use for this idea that we're working on. He was in the studio with Chris Lorenzo and also Sammy Virji. So I quickly made a bunch of basses within like the hour, sent them over to him, and then he ended up using one for the track at the end of the stream. So I'm going to show you how I made that bass that he used in the live stream. And if you do want to catch any of these live streams, Chris Lake has been streaming them on Twitch and also YouTube.
It's Sam Smyers here. Sam, if you're in here, go make us a bass and text it to me, please. Make me some patches or send me some patches no one's got.
That was him telling me on stream to go make him some basses. So then I sent over some basses. And then the one that I think he ended up using was this one. And here's them playing the bass with the track.
That fucking rattles.
So there you've got them all jamming out that bass. So now let me show you what I sent them. This is the session, and the one that I gave to him that he used on the stream, I gave him a bunch, or like 11 or so. And this was the second one he ended up liking, which was a variation on, I sent him the first one, which just had the envelope a little bit different, but it was essentially the same sound. I'll break this down for you. But you can see he made some changes, I think maybe to the drive or the level or the cutoff. He was automating the cutoff like that. So let me show you now how I made this, and we can go through it. So let's solo this, got a new initial preset. Put that voicing on mono because it's a bass sound. I like to take the octave down -2 to play it on my keyboard in that octave. And I was just experimenting with some of these S2 tables. I went to this easel mod oscillator. I think that is some synth called easel, and AT. I think it's Audio Tent, these guys that made a bunch of these new wavetables for the Serum 2 analog section. These are all like Audio Tent. So I think all these are based off of analog synths. So I just use this saw wavy sound. Saw wave sound looks like a saw wave. It's a bit bent a little bit. And just turn this randomness to 0. Let's raise up the level. Envelope 1, just going to give it some release. To about there, and then my envelope 2, I'm going to give this one even more release just because I want it to ring out a bit if you're just plucking it. And I'm going to assign this envelope 2 to the filter. So let's take out down the sustain to 6%. Adjust that decay a bit, maybe give it a bit of a curve. Like that. Just kind of adjust the envelopes a bit. Now I'm going to assign the envelope 2 to a filter. I am going to do a MG-Low24 filter and click on this, drag it over, take it to the cutoff, shift an option so it goes one way, take it down all the way. Now we got to give it some drive. Resonance, a bit of resonance, do that to about 15. And I had this key tracking on, so it's going to get brighter as I play higher notes. Versus if I had this off. So I had that key tracking on. I believe I had the cutoff around here. I think he adjusted a bit upward. So we can do it a bit higher. Then I had on the noise, the bright white noise. I believe I had this on one shot, but because it's a plucky sound, I mean, if you were holding this out, you probably wouldn't want to do one shot, but it's fine. You could do it as just the loop so that it loops. And the level, I can just take down the level, and then I will send this to the filter 1 just by clicking on the end there. So that now when I open up this cutoff, you hear that noise. So that's what it sounds like coming in. And that's what you heard when Chris was playing the bass in his live stream. He was automating this cutoff here, and you get that noise coming through as you make that cutoff brighter. Then I wanted to add a pitch modulation envelope. So you can do envelope like envelope 3. For this one, I did just an LFO, and you can turn this to envelope mode. And I'm going to take this down, change it to, we've got the BPM Hertz mode, and take this up pretty fast because I just want to add a bit of attack to the beginning of that sound. Then I will do LFO1, take it to my source, go to global, assign global to my main tuning, and then I'll take this up. So you can hear that click sound coming through. I don't need that much. I'm going to take it down to, let's see, about there. And let's hear it without it. It's a bit softer. So we get that like snappy sound at the beginning. And then from there, that's really it for all the oscillators. And I just added on some EQ in the effects section. So I'll just put it on here and take this down. I find that if you take a cut and in your bass, in some of the low frequencies, if you find a part of the low frequencies that you can cut, then you can get some of the other bass frequencies to come through. So let's set this around 400 or so. So without it, you've got this mid-range beefiness, I guess, but when I add this in, we get a little bit more low end coming through, I feel like. And maybe like a little bit more of that snappiness. So that's all I did for that EQ there. And that's it. That's how I made the bass that I sent to Chris Lake that he used in his live stream. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like. And also please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. And if you'd like to check out any of my Serum preset packs, head on over to store.samsmyers.com.